coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs. Here's how I'm leveraging AI in order to generate my clients 5 to 6 figures in revenue and how you can build a system for yourself as well. Now, before we head in, here's some evidence of it actually working for some of my other clients, and there's other videos on this channel to actually show things in depth. But the main thing I want to highlight is that it works regardless of the niche, but you need to make sure that it's a high ticket niche that you're actually implementing the system for. So in saying that, the 5 steps in order to actually get this on roll and on board, we are looking at number one, we need a high ticket offer. Now, this can be service based or it can actually be in the digital space as well. Of course, we need a lead source. So we need something like Facebook. It could be email marketing, whatever you choose, but it needs to be a steady lead source to actually attract clients into the funnel. Now, outside of that, we also need appointments, of course, to be booked into the calendar for a closer to then take it on. It could be the closer or the business owner. And outside of that, we're looking at service delivery and also retention. Now, my service specifically is, the top three, which is, of course, helping people craft the offer, helping people actually attract leads through, different measures, whether that's paid marketing, so on and so forth. And of course, booking those clients into their calendar on autopilot using my AI system. So if you guys ever need that, you should just use the link down below and I can actually walk you through how I can implement it for you or direct you in another direction. So guys, when it comes to actually creating a offer, it's something that I actually learned from, the $100 million offers by this great man over here, Alex Hormozi. Now, within the book, $100 million Leads, Alex Hormozi actually talks through how in order to create an offer, you need to make sure it's so compelling that customers feel bad refusing it, right? And in saying this, if you're in, brick and mortar, to be honest, it can be simpler, but the reason why I put a star there is that it all depends on the specific niche and the industry. So I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, I do have real estate clients. You typically have a house and of course you connect it with a buyer in order for you to earn fees in the middle. Now, the offer that you need to craft in order to actually attract people into the funnel needs to be very, very specific. You need to understand your ideal client profile, understand the pains and the struggles that they're actually going through, and as a result you then craft an offer in this manner so that you can then not only get them through the funnel, but actually make sure that they understand that this thing that you're selling them is actually going to be the key to their problem. I'll give you an example. I'll source a high cash flow asset for you within X period in exchange for a fee. That's of course for your own knowledge. But again, the thing that we really need to hammer down on is, again, what the pains and the struggles of the ICP is. So I'll leave that down to you guys to really, really dig in. But I'll give you another case scenario and hopefully it expands into that. In the digital space, what we've been seeing is that people have been making a ton of money through, digital products. I call it the digital product method. And this is when you have a unique transformation you can deliver for someone, of course, digitally. So for example, for a fitness coach, you may have actually gone through your own transformation. Maybe before you used to be overweight, all of a sudden you followed a specific diet, specific regime, and now you are in physical top tier shape. As a result, you are the testimony. So what you can actually do is create you could say a mini course, which is an info product. It's basically putting all of the things you've learned within maybe a PDF or within a course, within whatever the digital product is that you choose. And you'll give an exact breakdown of how you were able to, create this transformation, not only for yourself, for others, and how they can implement it for themselves as well. And some popular charging methods for this is, of course, people are doing low ticket. So maybe a school community where people are charging, anywhere from $50 to $99 per month, or a one-time course where you're charging them anywhere from, $200 to even $500 for them to literally digest all the videos you've already pre-recorded with the actual method in order for them to actually get this transformation on board. Or you can, of course, go a bit more high ticket where you can actually help them implement this. And this actually segues us down into the coaching method. Now, what this typically means is that, for example, you will actually be helping them not only implement all the strategies you've done within your info products, but outside of that, you'll be offering them, coaching calls as well, a community maybe, and of course, you complete this transformation within this said period of time. And typically people, because you're actually adding that extra element of it, the coaching element and the actual human touch, people are actually willing to pay anywhere from 3 to 5, if not 10K, depending on, of course, what your offer is and in regards to what niche you're actually, going for. And I'll give you an example of that. If you're offering, just general weight loss for, I don't know, just the general public, etc., you're not very, very specific in how and who you are actually targeting, it's going to be hard to charge them anything above, to be honest, this kind of price. Whereas, for example, if you reposition your offer for people that, of course, can afford higher ticket services, you can then create an offer that is so peculiar like this, where I help busy entrepreneurs reclaim the confidence through their fitness in 90 days. Can you see how just a simple tweak in not only our offer, but also our ideal client profile can significantly change the amount that we're willing to charge and we're able to actually charge? And there's so many reasons that we can even go through. But again, I've promised to not make these videos too long. But think about it. What are some of the pain points of some entrepreneurs? We're talking about, for example, their lack of, time. We're talking that, for example, because maybe they're focused on making money so much, they're not able to, I don't know, go on dates and actually improve their romantic life, for example. Outside of that, it could be, for example, you've got anxiety coaches out there, anxiety and also depression coaches, and how they actually, you could say, cure or have a remedy for how they're able to transform people out of that state is through, of course, their fitness. So there's so many things you can actually add into this offer that makes it not only appeal to your client, but also makes them understand the value of it and be willing to pay those high ticket prices. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen me talk about the AIDA model all the time, and it's something that I really love because it really simplifies the process when it comes to marketing and how you get people into a funnel. And for those that don't know, a funnel is literally just a system you get people to actually show up in your calendar so that you can, close them or sell them a product. So in saying this, is always covering the awareness aspect of it. This is how you are getting the people into the funnel. That could be through, content. It could be through paid marketing, so on and so forth. Now, the second aspect is, of course, building the interest, right? Which I'll go into, building the desire through, sales calls and things like that. And of course, getting them to make action also on the sales calls. But like I said, I'm going to be talking specifically on the top three because, of course, there's plenty of people on YouTube talking about how to actually close a high ticket deal and things like that. But if you guys want me to actually go into it and actually break down how I'm able to actually land clients and close them, just comment down below and I'll make sure to make that video for you. But when it comes to, of course, the lead source and the booking, there are so many different type of ways to generate high quality leads. And I actually just took this from Google. I just copied and pasted it into the Miro board, right? But in saying this, we're looking at, for example, ads. We're looking at email marketing. We're looking at, of course, content marketing. We're looking at social media targeted ads, which they sound similar, but they're actually different. Word of mouth. We're looking at offering people a trial, which is a great way as well, depending on the product. And of course, content marketing, which is, you got performance content marketing. You're looking at maybe UGC and things like that. And you, of course, got organic content marketing, things like what I'm doing right now, which is, of course, creating a YouTube video. Now, in saying this, all of them work, right? That's what I really highlighted over here. But before I actually go in depth, it's all about understanding that not only do they work, but it's about picking 2 to 3 max and then going very hard into that specific order and method of actually attracting these into your funnel. So for example, I love, just doing content, running paid ads, and also word of mouth. Now, word of mouth is, I'll go from back to front, right? Word of mouth is something that is very tricky because it's one of the most powerful ways in history to actually market your products and services. For example, if there's someone that like, and trust, and they've gone through with, someone's product, for example, let's say if, I don't know, a lot of us actually do this without us really realizing. You might have gone to a top tier gym, for example, for the first time in your life, and in that gym is completely different from what you're used to in the past, right? They offer, for example, a sauna. They offer, for example, more treatment. It's a more affluent area that you're also going to, so you're able to network with different entrepreneurs, etc. So on and so forth. And all of these new things that you are now accustomed to, that is what you now go and tell a friend, right? And say, listen, like, I've gone to A, B, and C gym. They've offered A, B, and C service. And little do you know, you've actually done marketing on behalf of that company. Is the same way that with word of mouth, people can actually do that for you, but it's something that is powerful, but shouldn't fully be relied on because, of course, it's not going to be sustainable enough for you to actually hit those consistent, 5 or 6 figure kind of marks that you're looking for. Now, in talking about content, I love content so much. I'm not the best at creating it, but of course that's why we're building this YouTube page, and also I'm trying to, double down on shorts and things like that. But content is actually how I landed, my first few clients, and even clients till this day as well. A lot of people actually come through this YouTube channel, they see all the information I'm, presenting, and lo and behold, they book in the call with me and I'm able to close them and actually work with them on a longer term basis. So content is definitely something I recommend. Not only for those offering service like I am, but also for you as a business owner also watching this. You need to get on content, whether that's YouTube long form, or whether that's, short form, where you're grabbing a lot of attention and funneling it down into one place. And of course, paid ads. Now, paid ads is, one of the I wouldn't say secret, is the not so secret method that is a lot of people's favorites, because it creates a predictable way of scaling. You automatically know, once you've created a proven ad, once you've got the copy dialed on, once you got a lot of people coming into that funnel through that ad, you're able to take that data and keep on improving on it. So it gets to a point where you put in, I don't know, one pound or $1, and as a result, you're able to print $3 to $5, right? So that multiplier is what people always love, because you can actually track all the results in a predictable manner. So consider it. But these are actually my favorites, and the reason why I do it, I've literally just explained. Now we're looking at, for example, with everything working, it all depends on your time, the amount of effort and energy you're willing to put into, and also the character type. So I'll give you an example, right? I've done absolutely all of these methods, right? But I simply hate cold calls. Yes, I can do it, especially when I was in real estate. I was cold calling like a madman, right? And those skills, I recommend everyone should actually cold call, funny enough. But long term, for me personally, is just not something I want to do, right? But for someone watching this, you can actually take that as a gap in the market, because it's very, very hard. It's low cost to start up, because all it takes is, you just having a phone, having a list to call through, and of course perfecting your script and your skills as you keep on going on. But the thing is, I just find that, making videos like this is very, very simple. It's a clear way of me actually demonstrating my skill set onto people like yourself. And it's very, very effective, not only for me, but also for my clients as well. Hence why I double down on things like this. But you need to pick, again, your top 2 to 3. And as a result, you'll be able to keep on scaling predictably. So yeah, I suggest try all of them, right? Especially when you're starting, whether you're a business owner, you're a coach or a consultant, etc. You need to try all of them, and then eventually, when you figure out something that works, stick to them. Now, a bonus tip I would definitely give and add on: if you have the budget, I would definitely say it's always good to, seek people's services. This is not even me like doing the shameless plug this time. It's actually just me being for real. It's always good to focus on whatever you're good on and delegate the rest to other professionals. So I'll give you an example. When I was in, sales, and I was closing, high ticket offers, etc., what I would actually do is that I'll pay appointment set as part of my commission, or actually a flat rate, and I will get them to generate me as a bunch of leads, as many as possible, so that by the time it's in my funnel, I'm able to now just keep on closing them on demand. So let's say if I'm just breaking them, I'm making, I don't know, 10% per deal. I'm now breaking them off maybe 2, 3, if not 5%, but I'm still making a ton of money because I have that influx of lead, right? So everyone's different, and I would definitely say you should definitely double down on all of them. If you have money, think about the strategy I've literally just talked about, things like paid ads, or you create a specific YouTube channel, right, where it's hyper specific content. That's really been working with a lot of people so far. So it's something you can definitely look into. And like I said, just stick to it as long as possible until it keeps on breeding results. But heading on to the next bit is actually what you guys are actually here for. How do I actually create an AI funnel? Now, as I always tend to say, right, the old system that people tend to leverage is very, very simple. You have a customer over here, and they go through this process where they have their attention source. That could be the ads, the content, etc. Then they go through a basic CRM. As a result, they get booked into the calendar if you're able to actually contact them. And then it becomes a closed deal if, again, your close is on point. What I do when it comes to AI funnel, and I explain in depth exactly how to create one. Now, with this AI funnel, what the AI employee is going to do is that it's going to contact your lead immediately. And as a result, it's a better client experience, and also the speed to lead increases significantly, which is a top indicator to actually prove whether you're going to close a deal or not. And then the AI will then book the client on autopilot into the calendar, so that, for example, your closer can take on that deal and close, the funds that you're actually expected to receive. And I've just copied and pasted some logos as well. So my preferred method is, of course, Facebook and Meta paid ads. and I funneled them into my AI funnel, which I actually run on a CRM called GoHighlevel. If you guys want to try GoHighlevel out, there's literally a link down below, and there's a bunch of tutorials out there as well around GoHighlevel. If you click on the link, you will be supporting the channel. But outside of that, GoHighlevel, in my opinion, is my preferred CRM just because of the functionality, and it's very, very good, especially in use cases like this. And as a result, I'm able to now plug in, AI employees and third-party tools that work in conjunction with GoHighlevel in order for me to actually achieve all of these results. And I'll show you exactly what I mean, how I use AI through this entire process. So there's so many ways for you to use AI. Now, one way is actually, doing paid marketing, but actually getting a UGC avatar, or an AI avatar, or an AI UGC actor, where it's literally just a AI human being actually promoting a product or a service, and you can put an ad on that and they perform extremely well. Because yes, some do look a bit strange, but the ones that actually look effective and actually are delivering a clear message, people think it's almost as if though, is the business owner or someone associated with the business that's actually telling them to do A, B, and C action. Little do they know there's actually AI. So right now, especially that not a lot of people are leveraging this, I would definitely say you should look into this. Learn how to actually use AI to create UGCs, and outside of that also to create stills as well. So you can continuously test, and as a result, you're able to actually see what's working and what's actually not. What would then happen is that from the AI ad, I would then funnel them into the AI system, which I've already talked about, which I already talked about, which I already talked about. And as a result, what ends up happening is that they get funneled into the calendar. Typically, a lot of my clients tend to have meetings via Zoom or Google Meet, and I always suggest that they put a note taker within there, for example, Fathom. Now, I love Fathom so much simply because it is free at first. Outside of it, I actually pay for it now. Outside of it, it gives you very, very clear and cohesive summaries about how the appointment went, some things that you could have improved on, some action items, etc. And I just find that it's just been the best so far. I've used all of them, like autopilot, so on and so forth. And there's no disrespect to them because of course they're making their money, they're doing their thing. But Fathom is my personal favorite. I cannot lie to you guys. Now, saying this is clearly how to make an AI funnel and how to use AI in every single step of the process in order for you to generate, your desired outcome, which is those 4 to 5 figure appointments. Now, if you guys want me to assist when it comes to implementing this into your business, you listen to this video, you like the idea, but you don't have the time, energy, but you have the capital to outsource to someone like myself to implement it for you, then I'm more than happy to jump on a call with you, which is a no pressure chat. If I can help you, of course, we'll get you on board as soon as possible. If I can't, I'll point you in the right direction. So it's literally, no obligation. You don't necessarily have to, see it as that. Now, who this is not for, I say it time and time again, is number one, if you don't have a quality lead source, and outside of that, you're not willing to invest into a quality lead source. Outside of that, they're bad at sales. They lack a solid sales team, and the fulfillment is very, very poor as well. That can literally kill this entire system. And if you want to keep on wasting time chasing leads and getting, and getting left off a voicemail, then, be my guest. But in saying that, who this actually is for is people that want to increase conversions for a system that is already working, a high ticket offer product or service preferably, and as a result, they have the capital to invest into themselves and also into their business to make it possible. Now guys, I've created a newsletter, and what that actually does is that over the next 30 days, I'll be actually sending you different AI tools and different suggestions so you can implement it into, not only your business, but also keep on allowing it to grow and expand, for other people as well. Now guys, that is practically it. It is me, demonstrating how to actually create an AI funnel and how it's able to generate you 5 to 6 figure appointments, especially with a high ticket offer. Now, if you guys want any more videos or want to watch any more videos, make sure to watch the next video YouTube recommends you, because the algorithm knows you more than you know yourself.